Center and bring in David Diehl as we can talk some football and some Giants right now. And you know what? I'll tell you, this is the first question I have for you. It's the summer. As an offensive lineman, you get to chill out now. All the mini camps and everything's out of the way. Now, do you look forward to training camp, or are you like, oh God, we got to is it a countdown, or you don't want to see the calendar? Because offensive linemen cannot be looking forward to those hot summer days out on the field.
Well, the one thing I will say is that, as an offensive lineman, as a former offensive lineman, you're definitely excited about the barbecue and the food that you're about to intake in this upcoming weekend. That's something that you're definitely looking for as an offensive lineman. But as a football player in the NFL and as an NFL player, doesn't matter what position you're at this point in time, this is the last mark that the season's approaching. Training camp's going to be around the corner, and this is the last time that you really think to yourself, I get to enjoy my true time with my family, celebrate the 4th of July with them. But after these last couple of weeks, I have to make sure that I get in shape and get in condition, because the minute that you get there, you're getting judged, you're getting measured with your body fat, you have a conditioning test, and you have to be ready to go without having any injuries that are going to stop your production and your ability to be on the football field, which is your best ability. So I think this is the last time that you really truly enjoy yourself. But you get yourself prepared from this moment forward in everything that you have to do fundamentally, mentally, physically, to make sure you hit training camp and you're ready with a full stride.
David, take me into NFL training camp. What was your least favorite drill? I remember I hated full court defensive slides. We had to do them. It was like being back in CYO basketball camp again. What was your least favorite drill or drills in training camp that you dreaded?
Well, the one drill that we used to dread with our offensive line coach, Pat Flaherty, is there was a two-man sled. And when we'd be in Albany, there'd be divots, there'd be holes in the field, all over the place in the practice field. And the only time that the sled could slide is if both offensive linemen come flat back, get underneath it, so that instead of it lifting and going into the ground, you have that low pad level and you can drive it through. But regardless, you'd hit it full speed. Everybody'd be under that tempo. It hit a divot. It lift up. You'd be dripping everywhere. He'd make you restart the drill all over again. I've always said I've never met the man in person, and I'm not sure if he's even alive. But if there was anybody who fundamentally came up with a piece of equipment, Ray Crowther, who did all this stuff for football, I would like to have a conversation with him, because he was a big man that tormented me for 20 years of football with all the different type of dimensions that he came up just to beat the crap out of offensive linemen.
Training camp is slightly different now, I'm sure. But you know what? When we talk about the Giants, as much as everyone wants to spend so much time on the quarterback position and what's going to happen there, obviously there's some talk about what the defense is going to be because it's so young. I just keep feeling like, and we've talked about this already on this show, the big story, and I think it should be day one of training camp, will be the health and just how good the offensive line can be, because I think that could decide what kind of season this is going to be for the Giants. Do you agree with that?
Without a doubt. This whole season is predicated on the performance of the offense, which now has to be the strength of the football team, and the offensive line making sure that they don't become one-dimensional on the offensive side of the ball. With the season that Saquon Barkley had his rookie year, that they're going to implement more things to stop the run and try to force the Giants offense in 3rd and longs and 3rd and unmanageable situations that affect every offensive lineman. I think Kevin Zeitler is a huge addition to come in. I think it was a great trade for the Giants to bring him on the right-hand side. And you have Mike Remmers, who still has got to come back healthy. But if he can stay healthy, and the way that at the end of the season, Hernandez and Solder came together, I think this is the making of a very good offensive line, as long as they build that continuity early and they stay healthy. But to say that they are the focal point starting training camp, without a doubt, they have to be.
What's going to be the vibe in the locker room without Odell Beckham there? Obviously, such a big personality not being around. It's going to be a little bit more, I think, about the team. What do you think the vibe is going to be in the locker room, David?
I think it's something that they've been familiar with. Think about all the times that you had to deal with it in mini camps or OTAs, and the question, is he there? Is he not going to be there? I think that's something that they've already tempered because they've already had to deal with it even when he was on the football team. I think it just puts a more emphasis on, number one, the ability of the offensive players on the outside. Evan Ingram becoming more of a consistent weapon for the Giants offense. Golden Tate being a great addition for those yards after catch that, like we were talking about, not being in third and longs, that those extra 2-3 yards on first and second down could be the difference between winning and losing football games. Sterling Shepard emerging as a great player as well. So I think the other thing that we are all going to be looking at is the performance of Eli Manning, with Daniel Jones coming in with being picked number 6 overall. The last time we spoke when I was in studio about the minute that there's an interception or something that happens in a football game over that period of time, what's going to be the reaction and how are they going to respond to it? So that's definitely going to be a big thing on how Eli Manning comes out and how well he plays to start the season.
Looking around the NFC East, what do you see? It's obviously the rivalries are always going to be important, and those games, sometimes they're a crapshoot because of the fact that they're always bigger because it's a rivalry. But you've got a division, obviously the Cowboys, the Eagles still are the Eagles, the Redskins retooling. What does this division look like, and where do the Giants factor in right now? It's so preliminary, but right now.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Cowboys fans right now are pretty excited knowing that Ezekiel Elliott did not get suspended. So he will be there opening week, which is a huge thing for the Dallas Cowboys. When you think of the impact that Ezekiel Elliott has on that football team, it's on everybody, going to Jason Garrett, who's on a contract year as the head coach of the football team. So when you think about him and you talk about Dak Prescott, he played his best years when they were able to run the football, control the time of possession, and you can run the play-action passing game under them. So I think that the adjustments that they've made, I think that adding into the mix, being able to get Randall Cobb was a huge addition for the Dallas Cowboys. And then the addition on the opposite side of the ball, let's see if Robert Quinn still has some left in the tank to go opposite Dexter Lawrence. And we know about those linebackers. So I think right now, if I was to look at it, I think the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles are the top two. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, when you think about the addition of Deshaun Jackson to that offense that was already potent, I think that that's something that's been downplayed. Everybody says, well, he just has top-end speed. But you add that into the fact with Zach Ertz, who draws attention from the safeties every time he goes out on a route because he works the seams, because he works the crossing routes. And then you have a big body like Alshon Jeffrey, who a lot of times, just because of his ability to box out defenders, draws double teams. That's an ability for them to get over the top. And I think a lot of people are downplaying Jordan Howard, who they traded for and got from the Chicago Bears. He's a workhorse that has a chip on his shoulder. Add that to the fact that they're getting their secondary healthy after having all those injuries and still being able to make the playoffs and make a push. I think for me, they're the standout in the division. I think for the Washington Redskins, obviously we've seen the impact through the draft and all the Alabama defensive linemen that they've picked and the adjustments that they've made on that side of the ball. Now it's all on the offense. I think that Case Keenum's going to come out as the starter, but you talk about a team that needs to be efficient running the football. Darius Geis and Adrian Peterson have to drive that train, regardless of who's that quarterback, because when you look at their threats on the outside, they're inconsistent and they're nothing that draw rave attention to you. And I think when we were going back to the Giants, I think the Giants are right there in the mix, but I don't think that they're at the caliber on the defensive side of the ball right now when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys.
For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.